Okay, we'll call the committee of the whole meeting to order for April 25th at 1:12 p.m. I'll ask for a motion from Councillor Smith that the committee of the whole adopt the agenda for the committee of the whole meeting April 25th, 2022 as presented.
I so move, Mayor.
Thank you very much. All in favor? Carried. Adoption and minutes. I'll ask for a motion from Councillor Walsh that the committee of the whole adopt the minutes from April 11th, committee of the whole meeting as presented. Thank you. All in favor? Okay. Okay, we'll put it over to Cody and Steve.
Perfect. Afternoon, Mayor and Council. Come this afternoon to chat with you guys about the Protective Services Advisory Committee. So in past, we used to have a policing committee that would kind of give some direction and advisory to our RCMP and kind of help focus some of those efforts. With some of the recent changes in the organization structure, with having myself now taking care of all the protective services for the organization, what we've kind of looked at doing in consultation with CAO Prosser was looking at a more holistic approach from a Protective Services Advisory Committee, which would then encompass RCMP, municipal enforcement or bylaw folks, and then also fire. In the past, we never really had an advisory committee for fire or our bylaw folks. We do have our Emergency Management Advisory Committee, which would be a separate committee to itself because that's legislated under the LEMER, which is the provincial requirements for us is to have that emergency advisory committee. So what the thought with this process or the Protective Services Committee would be fire, RCMP, and bylaw services, and provide that kind of that community focused direction on how are we engaging in our public, what kind of things are we doing from the bylaw, RCMP, and fire side. So we kind of wanted to run it by you guys and see what your guys' thoughts were surrounding that, see if it was palatable to switch from a strict policing committee to this more holistic Protective Services Committee. And you know, it's still, I think there would be another board and committee for council to sit on or members of council to sit on. And one of the things that we've looked at, we've developed a draft terms of reference at this point, and it isn't a draft state, it's not finalized until we kind of get some feedback from council on what your guys' thoughts are on it. So kind of welcome any comments or any questions surrounding it.
Thanks, Cody. Any questions from council? I like the idea. Councillor Kinghorn.
Thank you, Mayor Snodgrass. I appreciate everybody's working with me today. We'll see how this meeting goes, but so a question though, Cody, I see you've got 2 members of council on this committee. The current policing committee, I believe that only has 1. Is there a reason for having 2 of us there?
You know, I don't think there really was. I mean, I looked at our emergency advisory committee and it had the 2 members on it. And I think we would be okay to have that 1 council member. And I think that would be more than acceptable. And I think it's important to have that member of council that sits on that committee as well. Same as the policing committee. So
certainly I would agree with you to have 1 member of council, but I don't really see the need for 2. Anyhow, especially when the mayor would be a second member on this automatically, right? Because of his position, I think.
Absolutely.
Okay, thanks.
But the emergency committee always had 2 council members, correct, Jamie?
That is correct. There are 2 members of council on the emergency committee. In fact, we're the only real members of that committee of the 2 council members.
Right.
Like the only voting members.
Chris, what are your thoughts on 1 or 2 council members on it?
I think it's entirely up to council to decide whether it's 1 or 2. I think having 2 is great to have redundancy from that perspective if somebody can't make it, and it balances out with the public members as well.
Council, what do you want, 1 or 2? I'm okay with it as presented. Counselor Nychuk. Everybody do your Zoom. Don't use the chamber stuff for this meeting, please. So
Sorry,
go ahead,
Mr.
Michael. Yeah.
Sorry,
That's
Mr. Mayor. Just efficiency, that's all I'm concerned about. Not having more committees than needed. I'm Ukrainian by background and not in light of what's happening there right now, but we used to say put 3 Ukrainians in a room and you'll have 10 committees. So I'm always more on the efficient side, and I don't want to create another committee just to have another committee, but I'd rather see it all encompassing in one group.
No, that's fair. What if we did one counselor and the mayor ex officio to keep it as an odd number, 7 members? Okay. Then it doesn't load council members up with more stuff. Sorry, Kelly.
Thank you. I was thinking, what if we had one designate and then an alternate? Just that way there is an appointed person to stand in if there's a reason that the other person can't attend.
And that's another option too that would be fair. Now, question, if we do it that way, that gives it 6 members. Are we worried about tie votes on absolutely anything? Or this is advisory and it's...
I mean, I suppose, Chris, your thoughts on that? I mean, there is that risk, but I don't think that there's anything that's...
It would be so rare.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. And we could maybe, in the terms of reference, something around the fact that if there was a tie vote, that, you know, the mayor could be consulted and a vote be provided or something like that, or another member of council.
Or it comes to council with both options and council makes a decision like we do any of.
Yeah, fundamentally, this would have to report back to council anyways. So every decision, every recommendation that they made would have to be a decision of council at a future date.
Okay, so let's go with one counselor and an alternate. Council okay with that? Keeps it clean. Any other questions for Cody or Steve? I'll do it. Thanks, gentlemen.
So council will bring these terms of reference back to the next regular meeting for adoption. And then we'll be advertising for the public members.
Sounds good. Thank you. Any random questions from council? Meeting adjourned 1:20 p.m.